In Naruto, villains aren't simply evil, they're products of a broken system, victims of war, and architects of impossible dreams. From rogue ninja fleeing brutal villages to an alien goddess who created chakra itself, each level reflects deeper questions about revenge, justice, and pursuing peace through violence. Today, we're breaking down 7 levels of villains in the Naruto universe. Let's get started. Level 1. Rogue Ninja, the Root of Chaos. Rogue ninja are missing nin, who abandoned their villages for power, money, or revenge. These shinobi rejected the system that created them, becoming mercenaries and threats to the established order. Zabuza, Momochi, and Haku define this level. Zabuza earned the moniker Demon of the Hidden Mist after killing over 100 academy students during the graduation exam as a child, forcing Kirigakure to abolish the practice. He joined the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist and attempted a coup against the 4th Mizukage. After failing, he fled with Haku and other followers. Zabuza discovered Haku, a child with the ice release Kekkei Genkai, and trained him as the ultimate weapon. He openly viewed Haku as a tool serving his ambitions. Zabuza worked as a hired mercenary under criminal boss Gato, gathering funds for another assassination attempt on the Mizukage. The Land of Waves arc revealed something crucial. Many rogue ninja aren't purely evil. Despite his ruthlessness, Zabuza possessed a softer side he was unaware of. After Haku's death, Zabuza could no longer fight at full potential because he was secretly distraught. When Naruto lectured him about Haku's devotion, Zabuza silently shed tears and admitted he truly cared for Haku. Naruto's words cut him deeper than any sword. Zabuza took a kunai in his mouth and charged through Gato's men, being stabbed multiple times to kill Gato. As he collapsed, Zabuza asked Kakashi to bring him to Haku's side in his final moments, wishing he could go to the same place. Team 7 learned that shinobi who cast aside all human emotion also lose who they truly are. Zabuza's death revealed that many villains were victims of the shinobi system tools shaped by the Bloody Mist's cruelty. Their goals are personal, their reach limited, but they expose the first cracks in the ninja world's morality. Level 2. Avengers and Outcasts, Personal Revenge. Here we see characters whose hatred stems from trauma and loss. Sasuke Uchiha, Gaara, and early Neji fall into this category. They act as villains, but their rage is rooted in pain, enemies of their own past, where redemption becomes possible once they face someone who understands their suffering. Sasuke Uchiha spent years consumed by revenge. After Itachi slaughtered their entire clan, Sasuke made it his life mission to kill his brother. Itachi tormented Sasuke with visions using Tsukuyomi, then told him he killed the clan to test his own power. Itachi encouraged Sasuke to hate him, desire revenge, and gain power from that hatred. Desperate to become stronger, Sasuke left Konoha and joined Orochimaru. After finally defeating Itachi, Sasuke learned the truth. Itachi had been ordered to massacre the Uchiha to prevent civil war and protect the village and Sasuke. Instead of finding peace, Sasuke's vengeance only grew. He announced his plan to destroy Konoha and kill all residents to avenge Itachi, admitting to murdering Danzo. Gaara's early villainy followed a similar pattern. Before birth, his father had the one-tailed Shukaku sealed inside him, intending to use Gaara as the village's weapon. Growing up hated and feared, Gaara became isolated and emotionally withdrawn. Gaara became known as Gaara of the Sand Waterfall, deeply unbalanced, unmoved by pleas for mercy, and driven mad with bloodlust. Shukaku's voice encouraged violence and tormented Gaara with threats to take control if he fell asleep, making him an insomniac. Gaara simply hated other people for existing, believing they were threats to his life. His purpose was to kill anyone strong, to assert his own existence. During the Chunin exams, Gaara used Sand Coffin to severely injure Rock Lee's leg and arm, then fought Sasuke, excited by his hatred. Gaara's background mirrored Naruto's. Both were Jinchuriki from birth, both were hated by their village, and both lacked parental love. But Gaara gave up on people, while Naruto continued seeking acknowledgement. When Naruto defeated Gaara during the Konoha Crush, Gaara took this as proof his choices were wrong. He had surrendered to difficult circumstances too easily. From that point, Gaara started emulating Naruto, improving relationships with his siblings, and finding something worth protecting. These villains aren't enemies of the world, they're enemies of their own trauma. Redemption becomes possible once they face someone who truly understands their pain. Level 3. Criminal Organizations, Akatsuki Rising. The Akatsuki united purpose and ideology. transforming from individual rogue ninja into a coordinated movement. The original Akatsuki was founded by Yahiko, with friends Nagato and Konan, dreaming of creating a world without war through diplomacy. About 20 ninjas joined them, making Akatsuki a beacon of hope in the Land of Rain. After Yahiko's assassination by Hanzo, Nagato, overwhelmed by grief and revenge, fell under Obito Uchiha's influence, who masqueraded as Madara. Obito exploited Nagato's sorrow to lure him into a destructive quest for power. Under the name Pain, Nagato transformed Akatsuki into a militarized organization, attracting renegade ninjas from various villages. Members wore long black cloaks with red clouds. The clouds represented rain of blood that fell in a megakure during wars, viewed as symbols of justice by original members. The organization included the most dangerous shinobi, Itachi Uchiha, Kisame Hoshigaki, Deidara, Sasori, Hidan, and Kakuzu, each with personal motives but united under Pain's leadership. The plan was to capture all 9 Biju-tailed beasts of immense power to create a single ultimate weapon, forcing a world of peace where fear of absolute power would prevent conflicts. The Akatsuki operated in pairs. Itachi and Kisame combined seriousness with laid-back personality. Deidara and Sasori were artists with conflicting views. Hidan and Kakuzu had contrasting personalities but complementary fighting. The Akatsuki symbolized collective trauma victims of war who became warlords. They blurred the line between justice and tyranny, believing the only path to peace was through overwhelming power that would force the world into submission through fear. Before we get to the God-tier manipulators, make sure to subscribe if you're enjoying this breakdown. Level 4, God Complex, Pain and Konan. Pain marks the first God-tier villain in Naruto. Nagato was a war orphan and descendant of the Uzumaki clan who formed Akatsuki alongside Yahiko and Konan, dreaming of bringing peace. Following Yahiko's death, Nagato adopted the alias of Pain. Nagato's childhood became a crucible of loss after witnessing his parents' death at a Konoha ninja's hands, shattering his trust in the shinobi system. When Yahiko was killed, this awakened rage within Nagato. He awakened the Rinnegan and Gedomazo, lashing out in grief and anger. Nagato concluded peace could only be achieved through power and control. Pain created the 6 paths of pain, 6 bodies controlled simultaneously through his Rinnegan. Besides Yahiko's body, Nagato created the other paths from corpses of ninja that Jiraiya encountered. Pain was confronted by Jiraiya while infiltrating Amigakure, resulting in a fight that ended with his mentor's death. Pain and the 6 paths arrived at Konoha, eliminated border guards, then scattered to fulfill assigned roles. Some destroyed infrastructure while others searched for Naruto. The assault devastated the Hidden Leaf village. Pain's philosophy was simple. One who does not know pain cannot possibly understand true peace. Pain represents the shinobi world's hypocrisy, trying to end violence through more violence. He believed only shared suffering could bring peace, that humanity needed enough pain to fear war itself. When Naruto confronted Nagato after hearing his story, Naruto convinced him that bloodless peace was worth pursuing no matter how impossible it seemed. To make up for his missteps, Nagato used Samsara of Heavenly Life technique to revive everyone who died during his attack, sacrificing his own life despite Konan's protests. As his life faded, Nagato wished Naruto luck, dying with a smile. Konan was Nagato's longtime partner, the only member to call him by his real name. She expressed great loyalty to Pain, always having complete faith in his abilities. After Nagato's death, Konan became fiercely adamant to protect Naruto, even proclaiming all of Ame's loyalty to his cause. When Tobi came for Nagato's Rinnegan, Konan confronted him with 600 billion explosive tags hidden beneath a false lake. Before fighting, Konan vowed to destroy Tobi, calling him the Darkness, where flowers can do nothing but wilt and die, while proclaiming Naruto as the embodiment of light. Konan ultimately died protecting Nagato's body. Pain's death speech to Naruto represents one of the series' moral peaks when a god-complex villain recognized true peace cannot be forced through pain, but must be built through understanding and forgiveness. Level 5. The Manipulators, Obito and Madara. These villains don't simply fight within the system, they rewrite it entirely. Their manipulation spans decades and reshapes the political landscape of the shinobi world. Obito Uchiha was once a kind-hearted boy training under the 4th Hokage. During the 3rd Shinobi World War, Obito was crushed by rocks and believed dead, giving his Sharingan to teammate Kakashi Hatake. He was actually rescued by Madara Uchiha, who manipulated Obito by arranging for him to witness his teammate Rin's death at Kakashi's hands. Believing the world irredeemable, Obito adopted the persona Tobi and took over Madara's plan. He infiltrated Akatsuki, initially presenting himself as playful and harmless while secretly manipulating Pain and the entire organization. Obito orchestrated Yahiko's death through Hanzo, pushing Nagato toward his darker path. He controlled the 4th Mizukage through Sharingan, creating the Bloody Mist era. Obito's manipulation extended to the Nine Tails attack on Konoha. He extracted the Nine Tails from Kushina moments after Naruto's birth, controlled the beast with Sharingan, and unleashed it on the village, forcing the 4th Hokage to sacrifice himself to seal it in Naruto. Obito's actions shaped Naruto's entire childhood. His ultimate goal, the infinite Tsukuyomi. This genjutsu would trap all humanity in a dream world where everyone experiences their perfect reality. To Obito, this was salvation, a world without pain, loss, or suffering. To achieve it, he needed to capture all 9-tailed beasts, revive the 10 tails, and become its Jinchuriki to cast the ultimate illusion through the moon. Madara Uchiha takes manipulation even further. As one of Konoha's founders alongside Hashirama Senju, Madara eventually defected when he feared the Uchiha clan would be suppressed. He faked his death at the Valley of the End and survived decades in hiding, creating White Zetsu and planning his return. Madara implanted his Rinnegan in young Nagato, intending to use him as a vessel for resurrection. He orchestrated Obito's transformation into a villain, passing on his ideology and plans. Even after death, Madara's influence controlled events. He was resurrected during the 4th Shinobi World War through impure world reincarnation. As the 10 Tails Jinchuriki, Madara displayed overwhelming power that rivaled entire armies. He believed infinite Tsukuyomi represented true peace, a world where conflict could never exist because humanity would be trapped in perfect illusions, their bodies mere shells feeding the divine tree. In their minds, Obito and Madara were saviors, offering humanity escape from endless cycles of hatred. In reality, they sought to enslave humanity to an eternal lie, erasing free will in exchange for artificial happiness. Their manipulation demonstrates how one person's grief can destabilize nations when combined with sufficient power and conviction. Drop a comment below on which villain's philosophy resonates most with you. Would you follow Pain's shared suffering or Madara's infinite Tsukuyomi? Level 6. The True Puppet Master, Black Zetsu. Here lies the twist that recontextualizes the entire series. Even gods were manipulated. Black Zetsu presented itself as Madara's will made manifest, created through Madara's Rinnegan abilities. For decades, it served as Madara's agent, helping manipulate Obito and guiding events toward Madara's resurrection and infinite Tsukuyomi activation. It traveled through Earth, gathered intelligence, and acted as Akatsuki's spy. During the 4th Shinobi World War, after Madara became the 10 Tails' Jinchuriki, Black Zetsu helped him until the crucial moment when Kaguya could be revived. Black Zetsu then betrayed Madara, stabbing through his chest and revealing the truth. It was never Madara's will. Black Zetsu was Kaguya Otsutsuki's will incarnate, created by her before she was sealed. For over 1,000 years, Black Zetsu manipulated history to revive its creator. It altered the Uchiha clan's stone tablet, changing text to describe infinite Tsukuyomi as a path to peace, when it was actually a means to resurrect Kaguya. It influenced Indra Otsutsuki's descendants, perpetuating conflict between Uchiha and Senju. It manipulated Madara into awakening the Rinnegan, orchestrated events leading to Obito's corruption, and guided Nagato toward capturing tailed beasts. Every war, every prophecy, every plan from Madara and Obito, all part of Black Zetsu's invisible hand. The Eye of the Moon plan itself was a deception, designed not to create Madara's ideal world, but to gather necessary chakra and conditions to break Kaguya's seal. Black Zetsu represents ultimate manipulation, turning history itself into a tool. It transformed the entire ninja world into puppets for a dead goddess, proving the cycle of hatred perpetuating the shinobi world wasn't natural evolution but orchestrated tragedy. Where other villains had ideology or trauma-driving actions, Black Zetsu had only singular purpose: revive Kaguya Otsutsuki at any cost. The revelation meant that even Madara Uchiha, one of the most powerful shinobi in history, who believed himself Destiny's architect, was merely another pawn. The shinobi world's conflicts weren't the result of human nature or incompatible philosophies, they were manufactured by an immortal entity with infinite patience. Level 7. The Divine Tyrant, Kaguya Otsutsuki. The final level transcends human morality entirely. Kaguya Otsutsuki stands as the progenitor of chakra, the origin of all jutsu, and the ultimate threat to humanity's existence. Kaguya arrived on Earth from another dimension as a member of the Otsutsuki clan, an alien race that travels between worlds, planting divine trees that absorb a planet's life energy to produce chakra fruit. She came with Ishiki Otsutsuki to cultivate the god tree, but betrayed and apparently killed him, consuming the chakra fruit alone. By eating the fruit, Kaguya became the first person to wield chakra. She possessed the Byakugan and could activate the Rinne Sharingan on her forehead. Her power was absolute. She could instantly travel between dimensions, manipulate gravity, absorb all ninjutsu, kill with bone projectiles, and rewrite reality within her personal dimensions. Kaguya ruled Earth as a goddess, using her power to end wars. Initially, people worshipped her as the rabbit goddess, bringing peace to the land. She bore 2 sons, Hagoromo and Hamura Otsutsuki. However, Kaguya grew tyrannical, becoming obsessed with reclaiming all chakra, viewing humans who naturally developed chakra as thieves stealing what belonged to her. To reclaim this stolen power, Kaguya activated Infinite Tsukuyomi, wrapping humanity in the divine tree's roots and transforming them into white Zetsu, mindless soldiers for her army. She prepared for the arrival of other Otsutsuki clan members, intending to use humanity as weapons and resources. Hagoromo and Hamura opposed their mother, leading to a battle that lasted months. The brothers eventually sealed Kaguya using 6 Paths Chibaku Tensei, creating the moon as her prison. Before being sealed, Kaguya created Black Zetsu as her will incarnate, tasking it with orchestrating her return across any span of time necessary. When Black Zetsu finally achieved its purpose during the 4th Shinobi World War, Kaguya was revived through Madara's body. She immediately attempted to reclaim all chakra, viewing the shinobi world as her garden and humanity as insects. She fought against Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi across multiple dimensions. Kaguya's power dwarfed even Madara's. She could kill with a single touch through her all-killing Ash Bones jutsu. She teleported opponents to dimensions with crushing gravity, seas of acid, or burning lava. Her infinite Tsukuyomi threatened to trap all humanity in eternal illusion, converting them into her army. Kaguya represents divine greed power without empathy, creation without love. She operates beyond human concepts of good and evil. From her perspective, humans developing chakra was theft, and reclaiming it was justice. She saw individuality as a flaw to be corrected, free will as rebellion to be crushed. Ultimately, Naruto and Sasuke sealed Kaguya again, using 6 Paths Chibaku Tensei. With Kaguya sealed, Black Zetsu was trapped alongside her, ending the manipulation that controlled shinobi history for a millennium. Conclusion. From rogue ninja exposing system flaws to an alien goddess reclaiming what she believed was stolen, Naruto's villains represent different levels of threat, ideology, and tragedy. Rogue ninja like Zabuza showed many villains were victims, humans transformed into weapons by cruel traditions, seeking purpose outside a system that broke them. Avengers like Sasuke and Gaara demonstrated how trauma and isolation warp ideals, showing redemption requires someone who understands that pain. The Akatsuki united individual suffering into collective ideology, becoming a movement that nearly reshaped the world. Pain and Conan elevated villainy to philosophy. Preaching only shared suffering could teach humanity the value of peace, trying to become gods, controlling conflict through fear. Obito and Madara were master manipulators who rewrote history, orchestrating decades of tragedy to create their vision of salvation through eternal illusion. Black Zetsu revealed even these manipulators were pawns, their plans merely steps in a millennium-long scheme to resurrect an alien goddess. And Kaguya Otsutsuki stood as the origin, the creator of chakra, the first wielder of godlike power, and the embodiment of divine tyranny. She saw humanity not as children to nurture, but as resources to reclaim. The villains of Naruto weren't simply obstacles to overcome. They were reflections of the world's failures, manifestations of institutional cruelty, and warnings about what happens when trauma, power, and conviction combine without wisdom or empathy. Zabuza created space for compassion in a world demanding ruthlessness. Sasuke and Gaara showed revenge leads only to emptiness. Pain proved forced peace through fear creates only temporary silence. Obito and Madara demonstrated even well-intentioned plans to eliminate suffering can become the greatest sources of pain. Black Zetsu revealed how manipulation across centuries can hijack destiny itself. And Kaguya embodied ultimate corruption of power, the belief that creation grants ownership rather than responsibility. The cycle of hatred that created these villains was broken not through greater power or more elaborate plans, but through Naruto's refusal to give up on people. Where others saw enemies to defeat, Naruto saw suffering to understand. Where villains saw systems to overthrow or worlds to remake, Naruto saw individuals worth saving. The Naruto Universe's greatest truth emerged through its villains. Peace cannot be forced, suffering cannot justify more suffering, and the strongest power isn't dominance, but the willingness to understand and forgive those who hurt you. The villains existed because the world failed them, and they failed because they never learned what Naruto discovered. True strength comes from protecting bonds rather than severing them. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.